I guess it's my turn. Ina mana, ina reo, ina karangatanga maha. Tēnā koutou katoa, malo lele, talofa lava. G'day. Got Rhonda in the room. As I sit here at my final council meeting, 24 years since I first began in local government, I'm reminded of why I put my hand up back in 2001. I was running a business, raising a young family, and I wanted to have a say in what was happening in our district. More than that, I wanted to help shape a community that our young people would want to return to after they'd ventured overseas or worked elsewhere, a place where opportunity and quality of life would go hand in hand. That motivation has stayed with me right through my 9 years as a councillor and then 12 years as mayor. It's always been about making Waitaki a district where people can live well, work well and belong. I still have that first campaign brochure, as you would have seen in today's agenda, with some stranger having his photo on the front there. It was a fairly basic effort by today's standards, but the message was clear, helping to build a more secure future for Waitaki. I talked about making it easier for businesses to grow, about being a more supportive council, and about the need to plan for the long term. 2 decades later, these principles remain just as relevant. I love being a councillor, but as anyone who has served knows, the role takes a lot of time and energy. Trying to balance it with running a business and family life wasn't easy. Yet rather than walk away, I decided to step up. Becoming mayor in 2013 gave me the chance to be more effective, to lead a council that worked more efficiently, acted as a genuine partner and enabler with our community, strengthened social services, and was willing to be commercial and innovative when the opportunity arose. These challenges have only grown over time: tighter budgets, higher expectations, and the complexities of government reform. But I think most people would agree that the Waitaki we have today is stronger and more confident than it was when I started in 2001. I've been given some credit for that, and while I've certainly championed a few key initiatives, the truth is it's always been a collective effort between councillors, staff, community groups, iwi, businesses, and our extremely important volunteers, all playing their part. When I look back, certain achievements stand out. This might be the eulogy bit, Jim. The Observatory Retirement Village, which has created 81 care beds, 42 apartments and nearly 50 villas, ensuring our older residents are well cared for, freeing up housing and generating profits that will support health services for generations to come. The Mayor's Task Force for Jobs, where we've seen young people, some of our most challenged rangatahi, find meaningful work and rediscover their self-worth. The Alps Ocean Trail, which I first supported when I was a councillor and have championed as mayor, has revitalised our Waitaki Valley communities and brought international attention to our landscapes. Our harbour area, which got its own committee that I chaired in my very first term while I was classed as a junior councillor, is now a vibrant hub. Proof of what good vision, partnerships and perseverance can achieve. And of course, the moments that remind you why leadership matters, like the recent one we had when I leaned into my relationships with central government. We succeeded in getting $3 million for Project Reclaim after council had given up on the possibility of any such funding. Special thank you to Roger Cook and Jeremy Holding for your support and recognition of that achievement. All that pales into insignificance though when I think back 5 years ago this Saturday. On the 4th of October 2020, we had the devastating Lake Oahu fire. It was a defining event in my mayoralty and a leadership lesson in the importance of visibility and presence during a disaster. From tragedy has come resilience and new bonds that will last a lifetime. People often talk about legacy projects like the Waitaki Event Centre or the Retirement Village, but to me, the real legacy isn't in concrete or steel. It's in the lives that will be touched by those facilities. Children discovering a sport they love, families coming together for shared experiences, and older people able to live well and stay connected in their home district. Equally important are smaller events, smaller things, such as the events I initiated in which I played a hands-on role. the Friendly Bay Family Day, the New Year's Eve party, the Storybook Trails, the Blue Bike Trails, and the annual Light Up the Tree event. These free events and activities bring joy, belonging, and inclusion. They make Waitaki feel like home for everyone. Many of my achievements wouldn't have happened without our wonderful council staff. To all staff, thank you. The best among you are those who combine a can-do attitude with sharp thinking, who look for practical solutions, and who focus on what's possible. I know many of you go above and beyond, often without recognition. Please know your mahi has been appreciated. Over the years, I've served with 2 mayors and at a rough count about 50 councillors. Every one of them came here wanting to make things better. We haven't always agreed, and that's healthy, but we've all shared a deep commitment of manakitanga and kaitiakitanga to our district. To my fellow councillors, community board members, and governance partners, thank you for your dedication, your ideas, and your friendship. I've done my best to lead with inclusion through allocation of responsibilities, governance, development, ceremonies, celebrations, and shared communication. The positive feedback from our community, especially from those who have understood the challenges and appreciated our transparency, has meant a lot. I could mention many, many people who have been important during my time as an elected representative, too many to list, but there are some individuals I'd like to acknowledge in particular. Alan McClay, who was mayor for my first 2 terms, an outstanding leader who couldn't care less about being a politician. I had written he's a terrible politician because he just wasn't doing that. Kerry's got me to change it, but I once went to something where a political reporter described politicians as leaders who keep looking behind them to make sure they've got people following them. Alan wasn't one of those people, and he isn't one of those people. He was always racing on ahead, and we were running to catch up. Strua Munro, who served 21 years for the Waitaki District Council, a wise and steady hand whose commitment to community was the stuff of legend. The late Ross McRoby, a friend, a man with a great presence. And an optimist to the end. Libby McCone, John's mum, a councillor when I was elected in 2001, a great role model for effective community advocacy and someone who could be somewhat intimidating. She still is. Our own Jim. You've been here the longest out of everyone that I've served with, Jim. We shared a term. We stood against each other for the mayoralty. You carried on as a councillor. I went into oblivion. 3 years later, I became mayor, and you've been there this whole time. Acknowledge your work, your dedication. It goes beyond anyone that has sat around the table. So thank you for that. Thank you for your friendship. I also want to mention Mandy McIntosh and Leanne Kingan, both served as my EA, supporting me and running around helping me with my latest ideas for events or projects. Thank you both for your tolerance and dedication. To my family, Kerry. I'm going to do this. Thank you for your relentless support, your service to our community as mayoress, and your wise words when I needed them most. To our children, good to have you here, Alex. And our parents, thank you for everything. You've been my foundation through the good times and the tough times. You've endured long nights, endless meetings, and the occasional online abuse, and through it all, you've stood beside me. I simply could not have done this without you. Waitaki today is known across the country as a great place to live. We're more diverse, more connected, and more ambitious than we once were. Our young people are more likely to come back. And as tough as times are, our economy is more resilient, and we've retained that strong sense of community that defines us. To those who will carry the mantle forward, my advice is simple. Listen well, learn constantly, and when the time comes to decide, be true to yourself and your conscience. You are here because people trust you to use good judgment and make good decisions. Honour that trust. Probably need to make an exception for Brent Cowles because he stood 4 times and never had to actually have anyone oppose him. Sorry, Brent. As I step away, I hope to be remembered not just for the outcomes, but for the intent, for caring deeply about our district, for working hard, for making tough calls when needed, and for believing that we could always be better. I'll close with a whakatauki that speaks to everything I believe about leadership and service. Te hara takutoa, I te toa takitahi, ingari te hei toa takitini. My success is not mine alone, but the strength of many. Thank you very much.